Ladies and gentlemen, it's your favorite guest hosts, people. Nathan Waters.
And Tristan. Tris.
We are future balls.
Yeah,
Tris.
and we've got
T-Dogs.
three of them. Yeah. They came
Drizzle.
out really quick. I didn't even hear I feel like that was not heard, the whole spinning of the bingo ball machine.
No, they'll just have to imagine it.
They will. Okay, first up, we have Gamification. I like that one. That's cool. And the second one is Gamification and Space Exploration. Hells yeah, how do we gamify getting to space?
Wow, guys. I don't know.
It's kind of already happened a little bit with the billionaire people trying to out,
Who has the bigger dick?
Yeah, exactly. And I guess that's kind of a way of gamifying it a little bit. How much money can you actually throw at the problem? It's a very basic. Well, it's not really a microtransaction. It's just it's a mega transaction. Getting to space. Who can actually spend the most? Pay to win to get to space.
I don't know where to go with this.
No, it's tricky.
Thinking.
Well, because I guess if you start to think about getting normal people into space, like if you actually want to explore space and do like kind of dumb random shit. So say like the James Webb telescope, right? That's just starting and just getting up there. It's only if you're, for good reason, but only if you're like, a proper university or like a serious scientific institute that you can actually put a proposal forward to actually use the telescope to do something with it. But imagine if you kind of threw that over to a Twitch channel, like, just someone random on YouTube. You kind of democratize this kind of wonder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
And you could actually kind of start doing some really interesting stuff that would grab people's attention. Like, I don't know, who's that really popular YouTuber who always uses money for lots of stuff? Like Mr. Beast. And it's like,
Mr. Beast.
Yeah, like say Mr. Beast, like, I pointed
telescope.
the James Webb Space Telescope at my house and this is what I found. Or, something really dumb and silly like that.
Well, that'd be cool. Like obviously now, the only reason that's the case now is because of the scarcity and the cost of it all. But like, let's say the Starship super heavy booster thing works out, and then it's just like super cheap to launch giant mega telescopes into space. Then you could do that, but you could also launch like in one Starship launch, you could probably do like 100 really good quality satellite telescopes. You just launch it at one go.
Fuck yeah.
And then you could do stuff where it's like, now Mr. Beast just owns one of those telescopes. Maybe it cost $1 million to put up, which is quite cheap for him. And then he just like turns it into a Twitch stream where anyone can zoom in and just play with it. And
yeah. How cool would that be? Like just essentially like a big telescope just orbiting the Earth. It's, like Twitch plays Pokemon, but it's a Twitch plays Hubble Space Telescope or something. And people are just randomly staring at different things. And like, I guess
for some reason...
Yeah.
I'm imagining like the satellite has a laser on it. So it's like, where is the laser pointing? And you go and like, you follow someone with it and you point a laser at them.
Like, hey, put a dot on someone's forehead and they don't know, but just whenever they turn around, there's this giant space little laser. Stop it, guys. This is not cool. Oh, man. I wonder if you could actually do any proper exploration with it. So... I feel like there's a lot of stuff there that's maybe not focused on because it's not serious enough. Like if you're doing just like kind of dumb stuff, like kind of, the Hubble Deep Field was only picked up because the guy in charge who could actually override and say, like, he gets executive control of the telescope for a certain amount of time and he pointed at dark space. So maybe some more stuff like that could happen.
Yeah, when space becomes play, what happens?
Yeah,
because it is very serious right now. It's
it's serious
billionaires
business.
Getting to space, and it's satellites, and it's orbital reconnaissance, and satellites for internet.
Maybe it wouldn't. Once you could actually get onto another planet or moon. So if you actually got onto the moon with like some cool little buggies and shit, maybe once it's cheap enough to do that, say with like, Starship or something, then people are going around like blowing up chunks of the moon, doing other kind of random shit, drawing things. And maybe that could be a cool way to actually get people interested in space exploration because as they're dicking around up there, they find interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Again, like say a little rover or something. Because you think it would get within... I don't know how expensive it'd be to do all of that. It feels like it'd be a lot. But again, if you crowdsourced it to mess around, there could be some cool stuff happening there.
Well, I think he's trying to get it down to like $100 a kilo.
Mm.
I think so.
Yes, that's totally doable.
That's pretty cheap if it gets to that level.
Well, yeah, like I don't watch Mr. Beast or anything like that, but it's always popping up in thumbnails. YouTube's always trying to recommend it and stuff. But the amount of money, the amount of money that like they're doing with different stuff,
blows money on dumb shit.
Yeah,
I saw something like his annual budget, something like $60 or $70 million for his videos.
Jesus Christ,
yeah,
it's impressive.
And he's like, I don't want to get rich. I just want to make the best videos on the internet.
Oh, fair enough.
But it's all clickbait for 13-year-olds. Anyway.
So we've gone into the actual topic was gamification, and we're going into let's just spend a whole bunch of money doing that, which kind of works. Maybe we should get the third ball and see if that mixes it up.
Yeah. Because gamify in the sense of like leveling up, like, I don't know.
Yeah. Leveling up your space exploration, you've got to explore something.
I mean, there's all the cool stuff they've done where they try to like crowdfund identifying like exoplanets and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Kind of cool.
Well, yeah, I guess that's a good thing with the James Webb Telescope going up, that the amount of data they're going to be getting, that actually if you open that up and gamified the analysis of all the data and all the exoplanets they're finding there, well, when they find them.
Yeah, that's a good approach.
That's a really cool approach. Maybe you could say, look, you can name some of your planets after you if you reach a certain amount, after you've found a certain amount of discoveries, rather than naming it like, Exo 9 Polar B or something. It says Planet Fart. It'd be great.
That would be pretty cool if you actually discovered an exoplanet.
That would be amazing.
And got to name it.
Yeah, I would totally play that game now. I would analyze a shit ton of data. And you'd have communities doing it, right? Like I remember one of the early days of Reddit where there was a whole thing to name the whales that were traveling around. This is like 10 years ago. This is super, super early Reddit. And a lot of the names were like Serenity and Harmony for all of them. And then Reddit came together and they were like, no, we're going to name the whale Mr. Splashy Pants. It was great. Everyone voted for it. They got the people who voted for like Harmony and stuff all upset, but the people with the whales, they thought it was a great idea because all these people actually started to care about following this whale around. And so now there's Mr. Splashy Pants going around. And you'd have that with the exoplanets as well. It'd be cool. People would care. That's the best thing about gamification, right? It actually makes people care about it.
I wonder if Musk could do that with Starlink then, because Starlink's going to have probably 100,000 satellites at some point.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool if you could do something where it's like you get to, I don't know, like what's something beyond naming a satellite, like rather than just being like, hey, that's my satellite, look. I guess that is, emotionally that ties you to it, but like maybe there's something else where you can do.
You create an NFT of the satellites. And people are trading them all around. You can see what an NFT of a satellite is worth as people trying to start accumulating them. You could have as their little picture, right, to represent of where their satellites are on the Earth at this current point. So these ones are ours.
There's already like amazing maps. You can see the real-time location of them all.
Hey, hells yeah.
Yeah. So you could already just layer something on top of that.
Yeah. It's part of the metaverse, right? People just start saying, oh, these are mine. You can't come here.
I'm sure at some point Musk will like allow you to trade Doge on that network. Like it'll probably actually become like he would just like naturally like just make an announcement one day and just be like, oh yeah, by the way, this is like our new it's our new financial transaction system up in the sky. Anyone can transact with anyone freely, zero costs. It's all using Doge behind the scenes.
Yeah, hells yeah. It's all
Doge
free.
2.0.
Get your dog coins up here, buddy. Okay, let's add in the third ball. Third ball. UBI. Well, there we go. How do we have a universal basic income with gamification and space exploration? Shit's getting tricky. How would a UBI work with microtransactions and gamification and stuff? I feel like that would be, it's like a giant siphon, just taking off a lot of people's money, a lot of their assets to start with, I guess. If used in the wrong way, if it all becomes heavily gamified, that it's, I guess what I'm saying is that the amount of UBI would be dependent on the level of games that they're playing. Like, you've got rent paying this way, but all the other microtransactions that you're paying everywhere else. So you could actually, if you could analyze that in real time, you could work out exactly how much basic income they need at that point. The whole renting everything, right?
Okay. So
I don't know.
it's not really. It's like conditional UBI, conditional based on games. You must play the Squid Game to get through to get your UBI.
Yeah, exactly. If you're actually participating in all of these different games around, and you've got enough of, if you own enough planets up in the sky, that actually gives you an increase to your UBI, right? You've analyzed
like
enough data from the James Webb.
hyper-capitalist version.
Yeah,
the hyper-capitalist version of UBI. It's like it's UBI, but we expect you to still work. And,
yeah, exactly.
And buy things and own things and trade them.
Fuck. Yeah, that's a dystopian way of doing the UBI. Holy crap!
I kind of like the idea of like a big thing. I actually kind of lean on this side now. Like I think UBI will not be great for society because, like, yes, it provides you your. Ideally, it should provide your basic living needs costs. But people fucking need purpose. And like, if they don't have purpose, they kind of go mad. So you could maybe like combine gamification with UBI to help people find their purpose.
Okay.
So you start with like really dumb little games, like little like tasks, like where it's fun, but like what it's actually doing is it's like this whole secret plan to kind of get people to find their purpose and their passion.
That's cool. It'd be interesting to analyze how schools do it and say universities, because when you get a degree, you're not just studying exactly what it is, you're doing the whole big breadth, so you can kind of see what you actually like. Same with like high school. Remember doing clay modeling and all of that. Like I've never really used it again, but I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah. Because my big fear of the UBI is like, of course, like some people will naturally be inclined to do useful things. Like naturally, they will become entrepreneurs, or they'll get into art, or they'll create stuff, and they'll be functioning members of society. But I think you're operating inside this ecosystem where the attention economy is fucking like massive at the moment, and that's our biggest pull on attention. And if you suddenly if you give people UBI and therefore they have now an extra 8 hours a day to apply their attention anywhere they want, my fear is they're going to apply it to watching YouTube, watching Netflix, trying to become Twitch stars, trying to become TikTok stars. Like the fame and the allure of the attention economy will just lead people to want to become like, imagine a scenario where like 80% of the planet is just operating inside like this vapid is that the word, like attention economy, where like nothing's really happening, and it's just people like doing this, like just talking to each other and like just trying to gain attention and play this status game versus actually like doing stuff that's like useful to society and to making things progress.
I mean, is that such a bad thing? Even if it's like 80% of people kind of just enjoying what they're doing?
I think nothing useful comes out of that. If you just end up with like, yes, if you just end up with a pure hedonistic, like chasing attention, chasing status, a society based on that, like I think it'll naturally crumble.
Well, yeah, that's true. I guess if you're looking at, say, societies like in a competition type of way, that it would be, if they were moved onto more productive things, they would be able to produce more, actually do more for society, create a greater GDP.
Yeah, well, like a well-being index. So something I'd love to see is like everyone, contributing to society, like contributing to the commons and doing something useful and novel and progressing things for like, say, maximum 4 hours a day. And that could be still Monday to Friday, but like, so 20 hours a week, basically, like contribute 20 hours a week to society, to the commons. And then once you've contributed your 20 hours a week, therefore you get your UBI.
Yeah.
And then you can do whatever else you want after that. And obviously you'd have like caveats for people who can't contribute because of disabilities, or, if they want to take off, a year to do something else, that is fine, so long as they come back and contribute. Like, so it's a little bit conditional, but like it's conditional in a way where it's like you're not being. It's not like a job guarantee where it's being forced down your throat. It's you get to pick and choose which commons you want to work for, what problem you want to help solve, or you can create your own commons, or you create your own goal. But it's kind of like a hedge against that issue of the attention economy winning the attention.
Well, yeah, because I could see it getting I mean, there's a lot of dark parts that could go down with, like, people deciding what is purposeful and what's not, and all of that shit. And it's really the individual that could decide what they actually find purposeful, or how they feel that they can help the community and stuff.
But you ask most kids, what do you want to be when you grow up? And they say a YouTube star.
Yeah, that's not...
Except for in China, where they say astronaut.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess what I keep on thinking about that is that you'd have enough people thinking, oh no, I actually want to do something. Maybe if you still kept on holding them up in culture, like, the actual people making amazing things and doing amazing things. Because, like, sure, if you're just consuming a lot, that can be fun, but so many people want to do more than that. Maybe that's a naive view, or a very utopian view, thinking that,
maybe a little bit.
People do want to do more.
But you think about today, like, who gets all the recognition in our society? It's not the scientists and the creators and the artists. It's the the famous people, famous sports stars, famous YouTubers, famous TikTokers.
So then you have the famous producers, like, arguably one of the most famous people in the world is like Elon Musk right now. You think about him, he's actually producing and doing things. Even his critics would argue that he's definitely doing things.
I guess so. But he's always an outlier. Every time Elon Musk is mentioned, we have to just, like, he's off the chart.
I don't know. Yeah.
Can't be included in the evidence.
I guess with, like, basic entertainment stuff, they've got, it is vicious. And, like, the whole point of those channels is to grab you. And, like, it's all gamified as fuck. Like, with the amount of views you're getting, the amount of reactions you're getting, to actually grab you and actually make you part of that system. So yeah, if you think
about, like, imagine if everyone on the planet suddenly had an extra 8 hours free per day, like 40 to 50 hours a week free. Who's going to get that attention first?
Yeah, true. It'll go straight into the
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. That would just be like, fuck yeah, an extra 8 hours, we can grab them. Sweet.
Yeah, exactly. More fish.
More fish.
More fish in our barrel. And we get the advertisers ready to grab them. Oh, man. Yeah, that's depressing. Well, let's send them off in shuttles and they can go explore space. Once they get far enough away from Earth, they can actually be part of the hive mind, and then they have to go and explore space.
So what about, like, gamifying asteroid mining? Or gamifying like actual, like, real physical space exploration, not just telescopes and stuff, like actually sending out probes and having people. I guess the issue is that the timelines are so long.
Yeah.
It's like 5 years to get anywhere, basically.
Well, if you launched enough, though, it's kind of like a 5-year investment, but the same way as, it takes a 5-year investment to create like a scotch or something, like whiskey. You put it in a barrel and you wait. So you just say you're launching continuous probes at all of the planets around. And then when it finally gets there, oh, cool, you've got a stream of this many coming in. And then you can say, hey, what are you going to do with this? And
that's a cool idea. So you've just always got probes heading out to every location constantly.
Yeah, all the places in the solar system. I mean, there's not that many. There's only a few places, really.
The whiskey barrel analogy works so well. Because there's always whiskey available, and it's like, well, it all just happens to be like 5 to 10 years old.
Yeah, exactly. They just planned it before. So we just start it now, and, like, people get very excited by the time it actually reaches Pluto, because that whiskey's aged 30 years to get to Pluto. The first people to do that. And it would all be based around when the planets are actually getting close. So you'd get a whole big glut of them together. So that could be kind of cool.
You could have entire governance models as well around, like, what should we do with this particular satellite? Like, that's the same way you think about, like, when they control the Mars rovers, they have to, like, they have a whole team controlling it, and every single move is, like, calculated and simulated, and they have to decide what path they're going to take, and every move is like, turn wheel 30 degrees right, and go forward 10 centimeters.
It's so slow.
Yeah, but that'd be cool. Like, but you'd have to do that because of the communication delay. So
Yeah.
the thing you mentioned before, like the Twitch plays human or Twitch plays whatever, Twitch plays Pokemon, that would be an awesome model for controlling probes like far out into the universe, or not the universe, the solar system. Because you'd have to like collectively decide, like, okay, what do we do next? And then you'd have to be like, okay, the consensus is we turn the wheel right 50 degrees, and then you send the command. Yeah,
it'd be freaking sweet. And with what happened with the helicopter on Mars, I'm blanking on the name right now, but like just launching a whole fuck ton of them going down and around, like you could do so much with that. You're actually going fast. Yeah, just constant. I mean, just constant rockets filled with like, helicopters. We can pollute all of it. We'll get all of Mars covered, all of Venus covered. We'll get Phobos, Deimos. I don't think there are any moons on Venus, but we'll get Mercury. And on Mercury, they could actually fly around on the dark side and not get incinerated on the light side. It'd be great. You have to outrun the sun. I don't think it spins very fast. That'd be fun.
That's gonna be cool. I'm really keen on like missions that are like that whole idea of life underneath the ocean, the frozen surface of Europa, yeah, and a few other ones that are like that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would make. I don't know why we aren't just like trying to get a mission there like immediately.
I think it's a lot of ice. Like it's a really, really large amount of ice. Yeah. We just said to drill.
Nuke it.
Yeah. There were plans for space propulsion using nukes.
Yeah.
It's so cool. I love those like the scientists in the 60s and stuff saying like, what else can we use nukes for? Nuke everything. 50s probably. Yeah. Cool. Oh, should we leave it there? Anything else?
No, you could go in so many directions with these.
I know. You just pick a direction and just keep going. There's a good few ideas there, though.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Till next time.
See ya.
Bye.